Episode 1 begins with a lively hiking trip featuring a close-knit group of friends. Among them are two neighbors. They enjoy boasting about their children's successes and end up arguing over whose child is more accomplished. Sung-hyo is celebrated with an award for his work as a co-founder of an architecture firm. Meanwhile, Sik-ryu suddenly returns to Korea, just as everyone is excited about her upcoming wedding. Her unexpected return catches everyone by surprise. At the airport, Sik-ryu is picked up by her childhood friend, Jung Mo-un, who is also the daughter of one of Sik-ryu's mother's friends. They catch up and share some tteokbokki, reminiscing about their childhood days. As they chat, Sik-ryu tries to avoid her brother, hinting that her return may not be as straightforward as it seems. Mo-un, who works as a paramedic, has to leave for her duties, giving Sik-ryu the chance to meet another old friend, Sung-hyo. Instead of a joyful reunion, Sung-hyo greets Sik-ryu with a bemused, "What are you doing here?" Their meeting turns into a funny argument when Sik-ryu accidentally stands on what Sung-hyo claims is his land. To dodge trouble with her mother, Sik-ryu hides inside a large packing box when everyone returns from the hike. Sung-hyo reluctantly helps her avoid her mother's anger. The two friends later have a comical adventure in Sung-hyo's new office building, where Suk-ryu almost damages a valuable metal piece Sung-hyo calls an artifact. Through their antics, we keep flashback to a childhood incident revealing a scar on Sung-hyo's back from an accident caused by Sik-ryu. Meanwhile, Mo-in deals with an emergency call and faces a difficult homeless man. During this, she meets Kang Dan-ho, a writer searching for moving stories about everyday people. Back at Sung-hyo's place, Suk-ryu prepares for a confrontation with her mother by wearing many layers of clothing. Her fears are realized when her mother, armed with leeks, reacts explosively upon discovering that Suk-ryu has canceled her wedding, quit her job, and moved back home. The scene is both dramatic and comedic, with Suk-ryu's father dramatically fainting and her mother waving leeks around. Amid the chaos, Sung-hyo and Sik-ryu manage to escape to a park. Suk-ryu, still protected by her layers of clothing, opens up to Sung-hyo about the overwhelming pressure she felt living abroad. She explains, "Going full speed all the time made me feel like my brain stopped working, so I had to restart myself." The episode ends with a nostalgic flashback showing young Sik-ryu protecting young Sung-hyo from bullies. As Sung-hyo reflects, now that she's back, it's going to get chaotic again, setting the stage for more humorous and heartfelt moments in the future. Episode 2 begins with a flashback where Suk-ryu convinces Sung-hyo to help her with a part-time job cleaning barbecue grills at a restaurant. The money she earns is important to her, and she uses it to buy glow-in-the-dark star stickers for her ceiling and a gold brooch for her mother. But when she wakes up, she finds herself in a storage room, a much smaller and less comfortable space than her old bedroom. Her mother, Mi-suk, is still upset and doesn't even offer her breakfast, even when Sung-hyo and their friend Mo-in visit to check on Sik-ryu. Through a flashback from the night before, we learn that Sik-ryu wouldn't tell her parents the real reason she came back, which has made her mother very angry. Mi-suk often drums loudly whenever she's mad as a way to stop herself from hitting things. Later, Suk-ryu brings rice cakes to Sung-hyo's new office to celebrate. His co-workers are curious about their past, and Sik-ryu happily tells them that she was Sung-hyo's sire because he moved from France and didn't speak Korean. But Sung-hyo quickly clears things up, saying that Sik-ryu was a messy kid who didn't respect other space. He also recalls how she would peek at him in the bathroom. Meanwhile, the whole neighborhood thinks Sik-ryu got fired from her job and cheated on her fiancé thanks to Mi-suk's angry outburst on the streets. Mi-suk complains about this to Mo-in's mother, Jae-suk, and they talk about their upcoming high school reunion, which happens to be at Sung-hyo's office for the grand opening. Suk-ryu seems to be enjoying doing nothing, which frustrates her mother. Mi-suk even tries calling Suk-ryu's ex-fiancé, but Suk-ryu deletes his number from her phone. At the same time, Sung-hyo's company faces problems before it even starts because of payment delays and no clients. They meet with a journalist, Dan-ho, who interviews them about their new business. While Suk-ryu rides buses to pass the time, we learn about her struggle. She was fired from her job, faced racism at work, and her fiancé cheated on her when she needed him most. In an attempt to cheer herself up, she buys a pomegranate tree as a gift for Sung-hyo's grand opening. The next day, things between Sik-ryu and Mi-suk seem to improve as Mi-suk prepares to go to the grand opening. But she tells Sik-ryu to stay home, still embarrassed by her daughter's debaucher situation. At the event, Mi-suk's friends make fun of her because of her earlier bragging. We also learn that Mi-suk was smart enough to go to university but couldn't afford it, so she places all her hopes on Sik-ryu's success. The day takes an unexpected turn when Sik-ryu shows up to give her mother the brooch she bought. Mi-suk, embarrassed, lies to her friends, saying that Suk-ryu will be leaving for the US, soon after getting a job offer from a big company. At home, Sik-ryu and Mi-suk get into a big fight when My-suk tries to force her to return to the US. No matter how much Sik-ryu tries to explain her problems, My-suk won't listen. Suk-ryu leaves the house, with Sing-hyo following her after hearing their argument. They end up at a park where Suk-ryu tries to hide her feelings by talking about their childhood. But soon she breaks down and starts crying. Sung-hyo quietly stays by her side, giving her comfort without saying much. The next day, Suk-ryu returns home after being out all day and is surprised to see that her storage room has been completely changed. My-suk had asked Sung-hyo to help fix up the room, making it look just like her old bedroom, with the glow-in-the-dark stars on the ceiling. In a flashback, we see a sweet moment between Sik-ryu and Sung-hyo when they were setting up the stars. They accidentally trip and fall onto the bed together, sharing a close, playful moment. To Suk-ryu's surprise, Sing-hyo has also moved back into his old house, which is right across the street from hers. Their lives are now even more connected than before, as they find themselves neighbors once again. Episode 3 starts with a flashback to Sung-hyo and Suk-ryu's past. Sung-hyo is competing in a swimming race, but neither of his parents can be there. His mom is a diplomat, and his dad is a doctor, both busy with work. Feeling alone, Sung-hyo looks to the crowd and sees Suk-ryu cheering for him, excitedly yelling his name. This shows how close they are, even though they often argue. Thanks to her support, Sung-hyo wins the race. At work, he hears about a new client who wants to build a fancy retirement home. But Sung-hyo is more interested in a design competition to rebuild the gymnasium at his old school, where he used to swim. Meanwhile, Suk-ryu, who is unemployed, creates a funny schedule for herself. Later, she invites Sing-hyo to read a comic with her, but he jokingly ignores her. Later, Sung-hyo and Mo-eun meet up with Sik-ryu at a bookstore. After hanging out for a bit, they head off to work while Sik-ryu keeps thinking about how to fill her free time later in the evening. The next day, Sik-ryu accidentally bumps into her old homeroom teacher, who is now the school principal. While helping her carry food from her parents' restaurant, they run into Sung-hyo, who is at the gym for the design competition. Her teacher mentions Sik-ryu's old company, and to avoid admitting that she's not working there anymore, Sik-ryu ends up agreeing to give a talk to the students. During the talk, a student asks her about her childhood dreams, and Sik-ryu realizes she can't remember what they were. After her talk, Sung-hyo asks Sik-ryu to help him find a time capsule they buried with their friend Mo-eun 10 years ago. They search for it but can't find it, so Sung-hyo heads home. Meanwhile, Mo-eun is on her way to the hospital in an ambulance and sees a man helping to clear traffic. She excitedly tells her coworkers that he's her perfect type, not knowing that he's actually a reporter named Dan Ho. Back at work, Sing-hyo and his business partner Myung-yoo meet a possible client. But the meeting goes badly when the client asks Sung-hyo to copy someone else's designs. Sung-hyo refuses, leading to a big argument between him and Myung-yoo about the company's future. Elsewhere, Sik-ryu meets with a possible employer who really wants to hire her. Sung-hyo sees this and reminds Sik-ryu to follow her real dreams, not go back to a job she didn't like. Suk-ryu argues that having a job you love is a luxury, and they end up fighting again. We then see a flashback to a sad moment in Sung-hyo's life. He was in a car accident that crushed his dream of competing in the 2008 Beijing Olympics, forcing him to quit swimming. This still affects him deeply. Suk-ryu keeps wondering what path her life is taking. She tries to find the time capsule again, hoping it will remind her of her old dreams, but still can't find it. Her old teacher shows up, and Sik-ryu finally admits that she quit her job. Her teacher supports her and tells her to follow her own path. As she leaves, Sik-ryu runs into Sung-hyo at the gym. He reveals that he found the time capsule and teases her about the letter she wrote to herself as a teen. Sung-hyo then jumps into the pool, something he hasn't done since his accident. After some playful teasing, Sik-ryu jumps in too, but she almost drowns. Sung-hyo quickly saves her. In another flashback, we see Suk-ryu trying to cheer up Sing-hyo after his accident, showing how much she cared for him. Back in the present, they talk about their life problems. Finally, the letters from the time capsule reveal that Sung-hyo has liked Sik-ryu since high school.